Hi everyone, welcome to this time's Growling Finance. Bonds market kept peace last week. Few things changed about the tariffs and the fundamentals. The market was still waited for a clear trend. So as always, let's start it from changes of bond yields curve last week. Alright? Total bond yields curve was like the V-shape upward compared to the week before. 3, 5, 10 and 30 years terms up to 4, 1 and 2 base points. And if we compare to the one of December 9th last year, the curve was still twisted and flat. 3 years term increased 14 base points, 5, 10, 30 years terms decreased 4, 25, 19 base points. The spreads between Chinese treasury bonds and commercial bank perpetual bonds kept enlarging, with 10-year spread enlarged 1 base point to 63 base points. After actions of investment agencies, agricultural and commercial banks bought 45 billion long and ultra long-term bonds, whereas joint stock banks sold 25 billion. So last week was in peace, and the bond yields fluctuated around their valued yields. The CPC leadership meeting was held on last Friday and made some important instructions towards economy and policies. So let's see what did the meeting say and how did the bonds market react about that. In terms of fundamentals, there wasn't important data came out, so let's just focus on the meeting, alright? The CPC leadership meeting, also called Politburo meeting, was held last Friday and briefly point out 4 parts of things. First, the growth vibe of the total Q1 economy. The country has seen its economy improve this year, with public confidence continuously boosted and solid progress made in high-quality development. But the foundation for the country's sustained economic recovery needs to be further consolidated, and the country faces increasing impact from external shocks. To tackle this, we need to stay committed to deepening reform and opening up to solve the problems in the course of development. One basic work is increasing the earnings of low and middle income groups and boosting service consumption to strengthen the role of consumption in driving economic growth. Second, about the specific economic methods, the meeting mentioned efforts to accelerate the implementation of more proactive and effective macro policies and making full use of a more proactive fiscal policy and a moderately loose monetary policy, which stay with the orientation of last time's Politburo meeting held in December 2024. More specifically in this part, the meeting pointed out quickening the issuance and the utilization of local government special purpose bonds and ultra-long special treasury bonds and timely cuts in the reserve requirement ratios and interest rates. Furthermore, new structural monetary policy instruments and policy-based financial instruments will be established to foster technological innovation, expand consumption, and keep foreign trade stable. Third, prepare for worst-case scenarios with sufficient planning and work together with the international community to actively uphold multilateralism and oppose unilateral bullying, and make continuous efforts to prevent and diffuse risks in key areas. Fourth, the policy will ensure people's livelihood, continuously improve the policy toolkit for keeping employment and the economy stable, help the enterprises that suffered relatively big impacts from tariffs, strengthen agricultural production and stabilize the prices of important agricultural products, and roll out as soon as possible. To summarize, the total contents of the meeting was expected. Aiding the softened attitude of Trump towards tariffs, the fundamentals was little bearish to bonds market. About the funding condition, PBOC implemented MLF by 500 billion yuan continuously last week with mounting bidding price. The quantity of that was out of expected, and which has been seen as lowering the possibility of cutting RRR or policy interest rates. Meanwhile, the LPR rates kept at the same level as usual. So financing price for non-bank agencies was around 1.7%, so the total funding environment looks loose for now, but in the near future it still faces the uncertainty about the promised loose monetary policy. So what should we pay our attention next week? Next week only has 3 work days because of the International Labor Day. There will be a 5 days public vacation, so I presume nothing will happen. The PM data will be released during the holiday, but the number won't be too good or too bad. Remember, those are long-term factors. They rarely change within a couple of months. Speaking of bond investment strategies, hold and wait is still the best strategy in the near time. So let's just keep it, alright? After all, good things happen to those who wait. As always, if you want to know more useful financing information about the Chinese bond market and the economic situation, please like, share, and subscribe. And because next week only has 3 workdays and I need some rest as well, I won't update videos next week. And you guys will see me again when I come back from the vacation. That will be 2 weeks later until May 12th. But remember, I will always be here, share my understanding and experience, and waiting for you. So bye guys, until next time.